He was taking an enormous risk. Accusations of womanizing would ruin his election chances.
It was stupid. His public womanizing, you know, being married and running for the presidency and never stopped once. Anytime he saw a pretty girl, he wanted to go to bed with her. It was just an irresistible impulse. As much as I loved him and I liked him and admired him, it was stupid, absolutely stupid.
Everyone is voting for Jack, 'cause he's got what all the rest lack.
Jack's most dangerous extramarital affair was with Judith Campbell Exner. She was literally in bed with the mob. Her other boyfriend was the Chicago mobster Sam Giancana, who was busy fixing the election, his part of the deal with Jack's father.
He got the heads of the unions, and they got their men out working for Kennedy to get their own union people voting for Kennedy because of what Mooney sent the word out.
The election was too close to call.
It was a very tough, long night because it was so close, and you really didn't know anything.
At 4 a.m. the next morning, Kennedy won by the smallest margin ever. But rumors of an election fix would not go away.
When he was asked why the election was so close, his answer was that my father didn't have enough money to buy a landslide.
Not only had Jack's father done a deal with the mafia, but to secure his son's victory, he had spent millions of dollars bribing election officials in marginal areas.
Had it not been for Joe Kennedy's money, Jack Kennedy would have never been elected president. You got to give the devil his due. Old man Joe Kennedy bought the presidency.
Jack would never know if he could have won on merit. But he did have something else to celebrate.
So now my wife and I prepare for a new administration and for a new baby. Thank you.
As the family with the new baby, John Jr., gathered in Palm Beach, the Kennedys had to decide who were going to occupy the key posts in government. The most important question was who should be Attorney General, the person who controlled the police, FBI, and the Justice Department. Jack discussed the problem with his friend, Senator Smathers, beside his father's swimming pool.
Joe was up here reading the paper, and he finally put his paper down. Hey, Jack, George, come up here. So we go up there. We don't know what in the hell he wants from us. And he said, I heard you guys discussing the cabinet, but I want to tell you one damn thing. You're going to make Bobby Attorney General. Joe picked the paper again and said, now just go on down to the other end of the pool and finish what you guys are talking about. But remember, Bobby's going to be Attorney General. Yes, sir. So that was it.
Bobby didn't have any real legal experience. He had never tried a case in his life. He was only 35. But he was totally loyal. As Attorney General, he would protect Jack's back and stop any attempts to investigate his past.
Jack wasn't about to say, Papa, you don't know your ass from third base.
Joe Kennedy had won what he had always wanted, the reins of power. His sons controlled the two most important offices in the country.
That the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
Teddy and Jack and me went into the White House, and I said, you know, I just feel, here we are sitting there, and you're sitting in the president's seat. I figured, any minute now, somebody's going to walk in and say, all right, you three young kids, get out of here.
The young Kennedys were quick to make the White House their own.
They threw out everything. They began by repainting, refurnishing, buying French furniture. They changed the cuisine. They were the first to invite glamorous people.
Drunk with power, the Kennedys turned their back on their father and the deals he had made to win the presidency. When Bobby took over as Attorney General, he launched a fresh campaign against the mafia. He attacked the very people that helped make his brother president.
People who had previously not been indicted were indicted, tried, and convicted. And everyone felt the pressure.
Sam Giancana and the big mafia bosses sensed a double cross.
Sam was sure that he would get help from the President of the United States to not harass their different projects. He just didn't want to be harassed, as Bobby really took up the harassment.
And Bobby knew how to harass. He authorized hundreds of wiretaps, most of them illegal, in his crusade to wipe out the mafia. He also ensured that the deal his father had made with Giancana never saw the light of day.
Mr. Giancana had nothing but contempt and scorn for Bobby.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
He was angrier at Joe Kennedy for having promised him something which he could not deliver.
In December 1961, Giancana lost his last hope of controlling the president. Jack's father had suffered a massive stroke. It left him unable to speak. The Kennedy clan gathered by their father's bedside.
He had been the strong one, the powerful one, the gifted one, the man they always depended on and could depend on and could turn to. And now he had been cut down.
Jack was now head of the family, and it was up to him to protect the Kennedy image. In the first weeks of his presidency, he had authorized an invasion of Cuba. The fiasco became known as the Bay of Pigs. The Kennedys felt that the Cuban leader Fidel Castro had publicly humiliated them, and they wanted revenge.
The Kennedys didn't like what happened to their name after the Bay of Pigs. It failed, and they were taught never to take failure lying down. And so I think it all goes back to Papa.
Jack and Bobby set out to clear the family name. They secretly ordered the CIA to murder the Cuban president.
It was unbelievable. I had never in all my years in the agency felt anything as strong as the president and Bobby. We got it through Bobby mostly, who kept on insisting they wanted to have results, boom and bang, boom and bang. And how come Castro's still there? You fellas have been at it for months now and you haven't done anything.
In desperation, Bobby secretly turned to the Chicago mob leader, Sam Giancana. He knew how to get people killed.
Mr. Giancana used to laugh about the United States government paying him lots of money to kill Castro. It was the funniest thing in his life. He said, they're after me, and now they want me to go murder somebody, and they're paying me for it. Don't you see the absurdity in that?
The Cubans caught all the would-be assassins, and it was obvious to them who was behind the attempts to kill their leader. The CIA anxiously called a meeting with the Secret Service. They had heard that the communists were planning to retaliate.
He said, you guys have to watch the president and any girls he has in, because the KGB and these other countries are good, and they may try to put a girl next to him.
Any of the girls could be a Soviet spy or a Cuban assassin.
Oh, well, I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. Where pretty girls are, well, you know that I'm around.
We had no chance to vet them. We didn't know what they had in their handbag, if they had listening devices, if they had hypodermic needles, if they were going to record something, if they worked for Fidel Castro or Nikita Khrushchev.
But no one was brave enough to tell the president that he was sliding further and further into danger.